On this episode, we are going to build a sign for free-range pumpkins. Free-range pumpkins. It's a gaming store in Pantego, Texas. It's got board games and role-playing games and all kinds of different games.
Every day we look at signs. Some are beautiful, others not so much. For a business, any business, a good sign is crucial. So where does a good sign come from? Who creates these tantalizing works of art? In the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, it's done right here by the people at Signs Manufacturing, the people we call the Sign Dawgs.
Hi, I'm Herb.
And I'm Amy. We're the owners of Free Range Pumpkins. We're America's favorite game store. We aren't just a game store. We have older comics. We don't carry the new ones. Everybody can carry new ones. We like the older comics, the hard to find ones.
We have about 1,500 different game titles.
There's statues that'll tie in with either the games or the comics or even your superhero movies. We have toys. We have goofy food. Goofy named drinks. I'm a little silly, so what we carry reflects that.
That works.
Why'd you open a game store?
It was an accident.
What, you just tripped, fell down, and oh my gosh, there's a game store?
Almost. Almost. I was selling things online on Amazon. Had everything in the house. He said, get it out. So I got a warehouse, not this location. And his son said to me, why aren't you selling Magic the Gathering?
Okay,
yeah. What the heck is that?
Right.
He explained it, and oh my gosh, he was right. Before I knew it, people were coming in. It was not on purpose, and this happened, and it was meant to be.
Colors are great for signs. The more colors you have, the more catchy it is, and that's kind of the whole idea, because you want your sign to stand out in that big shopping center and with all the other signs in the area. So you want to add color. Free-range pumpkins, we're going to have orange. It's a nice, bold color that's not used very often in signage. Whataburger makes great use out of it. Other than that, I can't think of an orange sign out there. It's a really good color, and when we do a face and backlit channel letter, so you're going to have orange on the front, you're going to have the glow around the back up against the back plate, you're really going to make that orange pop out, and it's going to be a very attractive sign.
You want to go inside?
Yeah, why don't we go inside? Welcome to the pumpkin.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, they're all over the place.
They're pretty awesome.
They're up and down the whole aisle, and you can see dragons' heads, and you see Groot with an Oktoberfest hat because he likes to party. We have Karen in the black hat, the dragon head.
She's head of complaints.
So, and then
You have to have that.
who can forget Slimer? Why a game store?
Well, today's youth they do this. And it's infuriating. I have 4 kids. I want to unplug everybody. I want to bring back that face-to-face communication that they're lacking today. And this is the best way to do it with games and fun. And before they know it, they've made friends and they're talking with one another and they've forgotten their phone and they've forgotten their electronic games.
And you can't forget the trash talk. Trash talk is of utmost importance on nights like this, where, as you can tell, we're getting filled up.
We have this really neat machine that we can use to bend the sides of the channel letters. It incredibly speeds the job up and allows for higher precision, which makes the letters stronger. Because the customer's logo has so much going on in it, we really don't want to cut it out of vinyl. So what we're going to do here is print it using a really large version of your at-home printer. I don't know if you've ever seen the inside of a sign before, but there are a lot of lights in the sign. In this particular case, there's almost 300. The trim that we use to hold the plastic on the face of the sign is kind of important because it actually has a metal strip embedded in the plastic so that even if the plastic deteriorates, the metal will hopefully hold everything together. It's used across the world in signs and has been for about 30 or 40 years, so I guess it works pretty well.
E.T. looks very good with the Oktoberfest hat.
We have built a phenomenal community. It's just a bunch of gamers who love to play their games. They'll teach you to play. They'll play with you. They can knock your socks off playing the game, or they can take it back a few notches and teach somebody who doesn't know what they're doing.
No clue.
Okay. Yeah, like Herb.
I'm here for comic relief, the only purpose.
Yeah, don't ask him what a game is. No.
What is a game?
Don't put me on the spot.
In the other store, we had a very small area. It got to the point where we were getting 25 to 30 people on a Thursday night to come in to play, and it's like it was almost like having like a bunk chair. They had to almost sit on top of each other.
Wow.
We couldn't do anything but play Magic on Thursdays.
So now,
That changes tonight.
Really?
we're excited because we have people coming in to play D&D tonight.
Oh.
We have our very popular Commander Clash,
Yeah,
which is casual play.
Yes.
Tonight, and normally that brings in between 20 and 30 people.
Wow. One of the issues that often comes up with a sign company is that the customer will bring you their logo, and their logo wasn't designed for use in a sign. It was designed for use on stationery. Some colors don't work as well in signs, and specifically, you generally want to stay away from dark colors in signs. But because most stationery is white, most logos are dark, and so that often creates a problem. With Free Range Pumpkins, their logo is actually a dark orange because, you know, pumpkins. And the wall that the sign is going on is kind of a red, and so there's not a lot of contrast there to make the sign stand out. So to help deal with that, we're going to, since I can't change the color of the logo, we're going to put the sign on a backplate, and we're going to make that backplate a metallic silver. And we're doing that for two reasons. The one, because the backplate is pretty light and therefore will help to differentiate the sign from the wall behind it. And the other reason that we're doing it is because the metallic silver will actually catch and reflect or refract light during the day to hopefully increase our visibility. Of course, the ideal solution would be repaint the wall. So when people come in and play, I mean, how does that work? Do they just bring their own games? Do you have games that they can rent?
We have over 200 games, all different types, and people come in and they pull a game out and say, okay, we're going to sit down. Monday nights, we have demos of new games where we just set up a couple of games and we want to play, learn how to play the games, come on in and play.
Why should people choose your game store over, say, another game store?
We've been told by a lot of people that we're sort of a hidden gem. We've been told by people that people come in and they get a really nice vibe from it. It's welcoming, it's fun. We're not here to just say, well, when you walk in the door, how much money are you going to spend? Mind you, it's important, but that's not the number one thing. We want you to come in, we want you to play the game, we want you to become part of the community.
We want you to have fun.
And that's pretty much the way that we work the whole process.
All the
from
kids
start to
here are
finish.
family.
All right, Free Range Pumpkins. Kind of interesting name.
Why Free Range Pumpkins? He lost a bet. 2013. You go way back in the machine. What?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Everything is free range and organic and gluten-free, and we all know it's meaningless drivel and it doesn't really mean what they think it does anymore. So I said, you know what? I can go to Kroger and I can buy a $3 pumpkin, tell people it's free range and sell it for $30 online. He's like, no, you can't.
So, of course, we do the exercise. Amy builds a website.
As normal people do, right?
I come up with a story for Farmer Fran and the organic pumpkins and the free-range pumpkins.
That roam free off the vine.
And lo and behold, people actually ordered some.
They couldn't buy anything because I didn't have it checkout, but they wanted those pumpkins.
So then we said, okay, well, what are we going to call the game store?
When we opened, we didn't have a name.
So we came up with free-range pumpkins and flexing. I mean, come on. You know, we're trying to put a little bit of me in the pumpkin. So the flexing was imperative. to do that. Just, yeah.
See, look, it's exactly like the pumpkin.
But the sign looks really good too. It has like a bodybuilder pumpkin in it, and it's evidently a game store. But basic sign. You got raceways, back plates, front and back lit channel letters mounted off the back plates. Standard, really nice built sign. I'm glad to see a lot of people getting a little bit more bang for their buck out there instead of just going with standard raceways, because these really add a multitude of different visual effects to it at night when they're lit up.
So what's special about this place that distinguishes it from other game stores? Okay.
Seriously, Amy has built a feeling. A lot of people come in here and say they like the vibe. They feel it's relaxed, they feel it's warm, it's welcoming.
Well, I sent the guys out there. Actually, this actually took them quite a while to install these signs. They had trouble getting cars moved out of the way. And evidently we had some people parked right underneath where the sign was going, and we tried to prevent it, but they were already gone off into another store or something. We couldn't locate them, and we had to wait for them to finish doing what they were doing. So the install actually took longer than it actually should have, but 2 trucks, one to lift the signs up, one to mount them.
Feel about it right now?
Extremely emotional.
Excited. This is 3.5 years in the works.
3.5 years of not seeing very much of you because I've been at the store.
Been working hard. Of 70, 80-hour weeks.
That's what Kenneth was saying was your friend.
It's finally paying off.
I know. I'm just saying.
And we'll let you know in a couple of months.
His voice started changing. Like you make fun of me.
You did it.
Look.
Penetrate the wall with the power going through, get them hooked up. I think everything went fine on the first trip, so it's all up, working, and looking good.
How long you been doing this?
March 20th will be our 4-year anniversary.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, and so you have a dedicated following then?
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're going to have a really big deal. We're going to do a couple of ribbon cuttings. We're going to have one of our customers who is going to run a very special magic tournament for us. It's going to benefit one of his dear friends who was a veteran who sadly took his own life. So when we do that, we take part of the proceeds and we donate it. Stuff that in my pocket. Okay. No.
You guys ready?
Wait a minute. Yes, we're ready.
Stop it. Babe,
Yes.
it's a beacon to fun.
Yes, it is. It is a beautiful, beautiful sign. The beacon of fun in Pantego. How's that?
Why did you have to do that?
Do we hope to get out of the sign?
More customers?
Recognition. We are telling everyone that it is when you see that sign, it's the beacon of fun.
It just lights up the whole parking lot. It's gonna be the easiest way to say where we are. Otherwise, where are you? That sign you can see from the road.
And when you tell someone we have a 6-foot pumpkin on top of our shop,
they're gonna go look for
they go,
it.
no, you don't. No, seriously, it's a 6-foot pumpkin. Go take a look.
How satisfied are we? I don't have words to describe how happy that sign makes me. Really, I cried when I first saw it, and I just giggled like a 4-year-old every time I saw the sign after it was first up, and we'd pull up and I'd be like, look, it's my sign. I told everybody, I posted it on every social media, everything I could. Look at the cool sign, oh my gosh. I still get goosebumps,
It's almost a source of pride.
It's the coolest thing in the world.
When we can see it clearly from Park Row. And so, I mean, we're sort of like in the back of the parking lot, but you can see the sign, and it's vibrant, and it's different from anybody else's. The color grabs people's eyes. People have come in and just said, we saw the sign, we had to come in. What, you know, do you sell pumpkins? It's a legitimate question. We were asked that quite a bit.
So
No.
I do have little.
Well, yeah, so you have little foam ones.
They're not real pumpkins, but we do have little, stress pumpkins.
Why did you guys choose Signs Manufacturing for the company to do your sign?
Oh, that was all Herb's decision to choose the sign manufacturing company.
When we met Juan, discussed what we were looking for, what our vision was, what we were thinking of, he came up with the design, the layout, very flexible, accommodating, made it relatively painless even through the manufacturing. And as I'm sure he'd be able to tell you, there were a lot of stops and starts on this project. So when it finally came through, everything moved quickly, seamlessly. One of the few painless parts of moving was the signs. So that's why we took Sign Manufacturing.
They got the concept in one go.
And of course, being on Sign Dawgs, that was part two. That was an extra selling feature.